From the island Utila to Roatan, it's about a good day sail, and unfortunately when we left the wind was really low and there was quite a bit of swell standing, so we had to motor. I wanted to try out a new lure for my fishing line, and we also decided to mount like a new reel on the stern of Karl just to make it a little bit easier to pull in the line. But unfortunately we didn't catch anything this time. Tacking earlier on with the Genoa and the main, and we're making a tack of 170 degrees, which is like going forth and back, obviously. It doesn't really help much. So now we put the self-tacking sail up, and we just did the first tack on it. And if I was an exaggerating personality, I would say we did a 90-degree tack. And if I was telling the truth, I'd say we did a 100-degree tack. Which is, for Karl, like, super awesome. But it's so much better with the self-tacking jib, with the boom jib. You can just point so much higher and actually get somewhere on this course. So that's really great news, because it's always been pretty frustrating tacking with the big Genoa. You just can't go anywhere against the wind. So good news today! Wow, the view is so clear today. You can see Roatan, which is like 30 miles away. That's pretty amazing. It took about 8 tacks to reach the entrance of French Harbour on Roatan, and we went to the fantasy island Marina because it was easier for Tom to do his work when we were on the dock rather than at anchorage. I helped Tom to measure 2 rigs on some boats, and he also had to do some other stuff whilst he was in Roatan. And once that was done, we decided that we were going to take a little trip to the other end of the island, which is called West End, because Tom wanted to visit a friend of his who's living there. And we were really lucky because once we got to the road and we were waiting for a colectivo to go to West End, the first car that stopped, like a pickup van, allowed us to jump in the back and just gave us a free ride to West End, which was really awesome. West End is a little touristy beach town, and there's like lots of bars and restaurants, and they have some really nice snorkeling right off the beach there as well. We only stayed for a day and headed back to French Harbour the next day, stopping at Coxon Hall where we had to change the buses, and wandered around this little village for an hour or two. ¡Qué lindo! My anchor chain was getting pretty rusty, so I used the opportunity of being at the dock to take it out and take a look at it, measure it to see if it was still okay. And I think for now it's okay, but before the Pacific I should probably get a new one. And I also renewed the 10-meter marks on the chain because most of them had fallen off. Thomas finished his work that he had to do here in Roatan, and he already has to head back to Guatemala because his customs there are waiting impatiently for his return. So that means it's gonna be back to being by myself, and I need to prep myself for the trip up to Mexico. But more about that next week.